We were talking about sociology a short time ago, and we were talking about people's individual stories and how they relate to one another. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that you had sort of mentioned briefly during that quick break we had there was autism. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk a little bit about, because I think it's interesting to look at how individuals see the world around them.
Aye, well, you know, I first came across autism way back when I said to my mother one time, a young man lived quite close to where my grandparents lived, and I said, you know, he's a bit different, Mummy. She said, oh, he's autistic. Mummy. I'd heard of that term way back in the 60s, middle 60s and so on, you know. And I never thought anything more about it until I studied psychology at Queen's, 77, 78. Mm-hmm. And the exam was, I'll tell you what it was Thursday, the 18th of May, 1978.
40 years ago?
40 years ago, is right. And a psychology exam in the Whitla Hall. Uh-huh. Now, that was quite good company because, you know, Jimi Hendrix had played in the Whitla Hall and a few others as well. And question 1 in section 2, which I did, was what is an autistic child? So I gave the textbook answer, and thought I did a really good question. And it's only now with my, well, I must have done because I passed the exam, but it's only now with my experience of teaching adults that I look back on that question and, you know, my own experience with our boys, and I look back and think, you know, if I had been an adult doing that exam as a parent of autistic children, how would I have answered that? Probably 3 hours wouldn't have been enough to answer one question. You know, and I thought to myself, you know, the experience, the life experience that adults can bring to further education can be phenomenal. You know, that was it. And then our 2 youngest were diagnosed way back in the 2006, sorry.
Right.
And we always knew that there was something a wee bit different about them. But they bring so much joy to our lives. They're funny. They're good company for each other. They are great children, and we're lucky to have them. When you think of other parents and their autistic children, children who can't talk, children who can't laugh, children who can't tell you that they love you, children who can't look after their toilet needs and so on. You know, we are lucky. I mean, you know, and then you hear people saying, well, you know, if God only gives autistic children to parents who, you know, will look after them and so on, that's okay, but our boys have brought us down a different path, and we've learned from them as much as hopefully they've learned from us. The worrying thing is, George, the facilities aren't what they should be.
And they've got worse. Everything's, you know...
Government cutbacks, yeah.
Sorry?
Cutbacks.
Cutbacks, yeah. And I mean, I've seen... we had my mum living with us, and the worry now is, well, you know, if we get to a point where we can't look after her, what happens then?
It's the same with our boys as well.
Yeah.
You know, that's always at the back of your mind.
And there are family members who also have youngsters with Asperger's who are wondering what happens to them when we go.
Yeah.
You know, who looks after them, who makes sure that they're safe, and allows them to have the life that they deserve.
Yeah, it's a constant worry.
Yeah.
You know, but you have to try and block that out and just live for the moment. I know I'm not a great follower of Epicureanism or Epicurean, whatever. Okay, but the Epicureans, there you are, right? Not a great believer in what they espouse, let's say, but sometimes you have to
Mm-hmm.
just live for the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I
Now,
think that's what I'm learning as well.
You know, like of autism restriction, what you do, you know, once you have an autistic child, you're an autistic family. You know, that's how it is, and you know, you can't make plans, you know, sort of too far ahead, you know. You know, sometimes, you know, what other people take for granted, like holidays or even going out for the day, sometimes it just doesn't work, so it doesn't happen, and that's it. You know, but
what happens to do you guys get a break? And I'm asking that because I know how things work.
respite,
Yeah.
not really, no. I get respite because I go to work.
Yeah.
He gets respite when the boys are at school. But Robert goes to Carrick 3 times a month. And it's been really good. It's been a real lifeline. He's coming to the stage now, according to the law, autism stops at 18, so he'll not be going there then after his 18th birthday. That'll be it. Yeah, I know.
So once he's 18, he's classed as an adult. That's it. There's nothing there.
It stops, you know. And
What kind of impact? I mean,
they've also got the Gateway Club, which they love.
yeah.
And the Gateway Club has been a real lifesaver as well.
Right. I mean, are your youngsters aware that happens in the sense of, because I've taught Robert, I know, you know, and I know how Robert contributes to the class and the what he actually brings to it, you know, and you want to kind of nurture that. You know, I've seen that, and he surprises you in the sense that because he's looking at it from his perspective, you begin to see the world in a different way.
You do.
And you kind of go, oh, hang on, I never thought of that. That's
right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but that was an interesting experience for me to have with the youngsters.
Now the job is to get the kids to look at things from other people's perspectives, and you know. You see the checklist and that, and autistic children can't do that, can't, you know, eye contact, or can't show empathy. Our boys can show empathy. Our boys know when you're not in a good mood, you know what?
Yeah.
And they'll come in and they'll talk and say, you know, everything will be all right. That, you know, you can't do it, but some kids can't, George, some kids can't talk.
No. Yeah.
You know, no. Or you know, the school that Robert goes to, Rathore, they've got nothing but good things to say about him. How he progresses, and he's a prefect.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but I don't think there's enough education in autism. I think a lot of times the training that people go on, it's too general. Autism is very individualistic. Okay, there are character traits, but it's not a tick box exercise, you know.
No.
Not all autistic children have.
But there's an indication somewhere that we're all on some of the spectrums.
I think I am.
Yeah.
I think I am. My missus was asked one time to describe my music collection, which is his ongoing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And yes. Yeah. Certainly I think the spectrum is massive. And I think we're all in there somewhere.
Yeah. Look, is there anything? Normally in the interviews, I ask people if there's anything that they didn't get a chance to talk about. Is there anything you'd like to?
Not at the minute, George. If I can think of anything else, we'll have another interview.
We'll have another interview. Okay. Well, we've covered some really good ground, which is the sociology, psychology, which is another area that I'm interested in as well. And we've also talked about Manchester United, which I used to support as a youngster.
We'll have got half an hour and we'll talk about Manchester United.
Yeah, we must talk about them as well in more depth.
Well, can I just tell you something? Probably before I got married and the birth of my children, the greatest day of my life was my uncle taking me into the Players' Lounge at Old Trafford in 1973, Easter Monday, where I met George Best, Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law, Frank O'Farrell, Sir Matt Busby, Bill Shankly, Steve Highway. I was 14 years of age. I was in my element. We had been beaten 3-0 previously by Liverpool, but that didn't matter.
Yeah.
You know? And I have been a United fan all my life. I adore the current manager.
Yeah.
And hopefully next season we'll show the
Well,
blue half of Manchester what we're really made of.
Absolutely. My dad had gone to Manchester as a youngster shortly after his father had passed away. And I'd supported Manchester United as a youngster because the only other George I knew other than my dad
Mr. Best,
was George Best. So that
you
was
know
it.
me as well, George. My third name is George.
Oh, your third name's George. Okay, brilliant.
And our John's third name is George.
It's George as well.
But
tip.
George has run through our family, the McCaul family, for a number of generations.
Yeah, yeah. There's lots of George Kingsnorths in our family, which I think is really important. Well, look, thank you very much, John, for
Not a problem, George.
coming in. I look forward to talking to you again sometime soon. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. We have more on the way, so please subscribe to this channel and check out the link below if you'd consider becoming a patron to help us keep making more content. Thanks for watching.